Did you know that a simple 30-second reset can save you from a repair bill of over $1,500? The surprising part is that 96% of drivers completely overlook it, ending up at the dealership and paying for issues that are really just minor electronic glitches. The truth is, many systems in modern cars have self-relearn procedures, if you know the right steps. In this video, you'll uncover reset tricks that mechanics never volunteer to tell you, because they can save you thousands of dollars every year. Take 3 seconds to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the latest videos. 13. Pulling the EFI fuse to reset the ECU. When your car starts running sluggishly, throwing random error lights, or burning more fuel than usual, most people immediately assume a bad sensor or clogged injectors, or feel they must take the car in for a diagnostic scan just to be safe. But there's a much simpler trick that mechanics rarely tell you: pulling the EFI fuse to reset the ECU. This forces the engine computer to clear temporary learned values stored during operation, values that can become inaccurate after replacing sensors, cleaning the throttle body, getting bad fuel, or running with a weak battery. The best part is that this method won't erase your radio presets, clock, or power seat memory, because it only resets the area that controls fuel injection, ignition timing, and air-fuel mixture, instead of shutting down the entire system like disconnecting the battery. All you need to do is open the fuse box under the hood, find the EFI fuse, or ECM, PCM, depending on the vehicle. Pull it out for about 10 to 20 seconds, then reinstall it. Once it's back in, the ECU is forced to relearn everything from scratch: fuel trim, ignition timing, idle speed, and even how you press the accelerator. 12. Resetting the steering angle sensor. Many drivers disconnect the battery to clean terminals, replace a battery, or hook up a booster pack, only to see a dashboard full of warning lights afterward: power steering disabled, traction control light on, ABS error, and sometimes the steering wheel feels unusually heavy. Anyone would panic seeing that, but the truth is far simpler. The steering angle sensor has lost calibration, and the system mistakenly thinks the car has a serious fault. Most cars allow you to reset it right on the spot. Switch the ignition to on, turn the steering wheel fully left, then fully right, then return it to center and hold it straight for a few seconds. It sounds too simple, but it works, as long as the wheel is centered accurately. After a few seconds, the warning lights often disappear and power steering returns to normal. 11. Resetting the auto up, auto down window function. On many cars, after a battery replacement, jump start, or even pulling a fuse, the windows start acting strangely. They go all the way down with one tap, but when you pull them up, they go a little and then drop back down. The one-touch feature stops working, or the window stops halfway as if something is jammed. It's easy to assume a weak motor, a bad anti-pinch sensor, or a worn regulator. But in most cases, the window simply lost its position memory due to unstable power. The window system needs to know the exact bottom limit and top limit to control motor force and movement accurately. When that memory is erased, the car no longer knows the window's actual position, so it cuts power to prevent jamming or overload. That's why many people take their car to a shop and get told the whole regulator needs replacing, even though the issue is simply that the window forgot where it is. Fixing it is straightforward. Turn the ignition on, lower the window all the way down, and hold the button for 5 seconds, then raise it all the way up and hold for another 5 seconds. 10. Resetting the maintenance Jajkor oil reminder light. Many people drive home after an oil change and still see the maintenance required or service due light glowing on the dashboard, then turn right back to the shop just to ask them to turn it off. Some places do it for free, but plenty of shops add $20, $70 to the bill simply because you don't know how to reset it. In reality, Most of these reminder lights have nothing to do with technical faults. They're just timers or mileage counters telling you it's time for service. If you don't reset them, the system keeps warning you, making drivers think something is actually wrong. This is especially true for Japanese cars like Toyota, Honda, and Lexus. Their counters are strict. Once you hit around 4,500, 5,000 miles, the light comes on no matter when you last changed the oil. The annoying part is that every manufacturer uses a different procedure. Some cars require turning the ignition on and holding the trip button for a few seconds. Some need you to switch to ODO mode first. And certain Ford and Nissan models require navigating the steering wheel menu. It sounds complicated, but once you know the exact steps, the whole process takes less than a minute. Comment 1 and like the video. I'll reveal the next money-saving reset tricks. 9. Resetting the anti-theft immobilizer. There are times when you turn the key and the engine refuses to crank. You only see a blinking key symbol or an anti-theft icon. No starter noise, no signs of life, as if the car is upset with you. Many people in this situation immediately assume the key is broken, the anti-theft module is fried, or that they need to take the entire electrical system to the dealership for testing. And that often leads to a repair bill of several $100s, all because of a wrong assumption. The immobilizer works by verifying the correct code from the key or key fob before it allows the engine to start. If power is interrupted suddenly, a weak battery replacement, or minor electrical fluctuation, the module may mistakenly think the key is invalid. The most common reset method is disconnecting the battery. Turn the key off, remove the negative terminal first, and wait 30 to 40 minutes so the system fully discharges. If you want a faster method, you can connect the two terminals together using a resistor, never connect them directly, to safely drain any remaining charge for a deeper reset. Once the battery is reconnected, the anti-theft system restarts and re-recognizes the key as normal. 8. Cleaning and resetting the IAC valve. A dirty IAC valve is a common cause of all kinds of annoyances. Unstable, idle, rough shaking when the AC is turned on, or the engine wanting to stall when shifting into gear. Because these symptoms look similar to sensor issues or throttle body problems, many people jump straight to replacing parts, when the actual cause is often just carbon buildup on the IAC valve, preventing it from opening to the correct angle. When idle airflow is restricted, the ECU keeps compensating back and forth, and the car starts behaving moody. The fix is much simpler than most people expect. Remove the IAC valve from the throttle body, spray the valve pintle and air passages with the proper cleaner, and wipe everything clean. After just a few minutes, the valve usually moves much more smoothly. But here's the part most people forget. After cleaning, you must reset the ECU so it clears the old airflow data and relearns the correct idle values based on the now clean valve. If you skip the reset, the ECU still thinks the IAC is clogged, which can lead to high idle throttle hesitation, or the car shaking when downshifting. 7. Cleaning and resetting the MAF sensor. A dirty MAF sensor is one of the most common causes of poor fuel economy, sluggish acceleration, and lean mixture warning lights. Yet it's also one of the parts most often replaced unnecessarily. Even a thin layer of dust, oil vapor from the PCV system, or residue from a cheap air filter can coat the sensor film and cause the ECU to misread incoming airflow. The result? The engine enriches the mixture to compensate, throttle response becomes delayed, gear shifts feel rough, and fuel consumption increases noticeably. Many shops see codes like PR171 or PR174 and immediately recommend replacing the MWAF, even though 80% of cases only need proper cleaning. To fix it, remove the sensor from the intake pipe and spray it gently several times with a dedicated MEF cleaner. Never use brake cleaner, carb cleaner, or gasoline, as they can destroy the ultra-thin sensing wire inside. After cleaning, let the sensor air dry completely before reinstalling it. But here's the mistake many people make. If you clean the MAF without resetting the ECU, the engine will continue using old fuel trim values that were based on a dirty sensor. That means the issue won't improve, and can even get worse. The solution is to reset the ECU by pulling the EFI fuse or disconnecting the battery for 15 to 20 minutes. When you restart the engine, drive gently so it can relearn the new airflow data. The difference is usually immediate: smoother performance, quicker throttle response, and fuel economy returning to normal. 6. Battery registration after replacement. A lot of people replace their car battery and then notice the car doesn't feel quite right. Weak cranking even with a new battery, cooling fans running longer than usual, the start-stop system refusing to activate, or the electrical warning light flickering for no reason. This leads many drivers to assume the alternator is failing or that the electrical system has a major problem. But in most cases, the issue is simple. You haven't registered the new battery with the vehicle's electrical system. Modern cars use an IBS, intelligent battery sensor, to monitor battery age, charge level, charging current, and overall condition over time. When you install a new battery without telling the ECU, the system still thinks the old battery is there, so it continues charging based on the old battery's habits. A worn battery is charged at a higher rate to compensate. A brand new battery does not need that level of charging. The result? The new battery overheats, ages quickly, or even swells, especially with AGM and EFB batteries. 5. Throttle body reset after cleaning. Many people clean their throttle body and then start the engine only to see the idle shoot up to 1,500–2,000 RPM, the throttle hanging high, harsh gear engagement, or the car creeping forward aggressively without touching the gas pedal. It's easy to think the cleaning broke something or that the throttle position sensor is failing, but the cause is usually very simple. The ECU is still using old learned data, while the freshly cleaned throttle body is flowing much more air at idle than before. Electronic throttle bodies are extremely sensitive. As carbon builds up over time, the ECU slowly adjusts to maintain a stable idle even though airflow is restricted. But once you clean it, the airflow returns to normal, yet the ECU hasn't forgotten its old adaptations. The result? High idle, inconsistent throttle behavior, hesitation on acceleration, or even stalling when shifting into gear. Some shops clean the throttle body for customers but forget to reset it, causing the customer to think the car has gotten worse. The fix is to perform a throttle body reset so the ECU can relearn the correct opening angle and airflow values. Each manufacturer uses a different procedure. On many Japanese cars, simply turning the ignition on for a few seconds, turning it off, and then starting the engine allows the ECU to relearn the idle position automatically. 4. Resetting transmission adaptation. Modern automatic transmissions don't simply shift based on programming. They also learn your driving habits, whether you press the gas hard or lightly, whether you drive mostly in the city or on the highway, how you usually accelerate. All of this is stored in the adaptation memory. But for that same reason, after replacing transmission fluid, changing sensors, or when the car experiences a voltage drop, the old learned data can become inaccurate and cause harsh shifts, delayed shifting, or unusual RPM flaring. Many people see these symptoms and assume the transmission is about to fail, when in reality, it only needs the adaptation memory reset. Resetting adaptation is like letting the transmission start over, clearing out old habits that no longer fit. Some cars, like Mazda, allow this through the shifter, switching to M2 and then upshifting through the gears at specific RPM ranges. European cars like BMW usually require a diagnostic tool to clear adaptation data and let the transmission relearn from its baseline state. After the reset, you simply drive gently for several minutes, so the transmission can re-optimize shift points, hydraulic pressure, and lock-up timing. 3. completing the drive cycle to pass emissions. Many people finish repairing the check engine issue, clear all the codes, and then still fail the emissions test. Not because the car is still broken, but because the OBD system hasn't completed the drive cycle, a required sequence of conditions that allows the ECU to verify that all emissions-related components are functioning properly. In other words, your car is fine, but the testing machine hasn't been convinced yet. A drive cycle isn't just casual driving. It requires the correct engine temperature, the correct speed, the correct fuel level, and specific phases of acceleration and deceleration. If you miss one step, one of the monitors will stay in not ready, and the station will reject the test immediately. Many people don't know this and end up returning to the station 2 or 3 times, wasting time and sometimes paying extra fees. The process usually includes letting the engine cool overnight, idling for a few minutes, driving on the highway for 10 to 20 minutes at a steady 45 to 65 mph, and then alternating light accelerations and full decelerations. 2. Handling trouble. Codes the right way, DTC reset. Many people see the check engine light, plug in a scanner, and clear the codes immediately just to get rid of the annoyance. But that's a mistake that makes later diagnosis twice as hard. Trouble codes, DTCs, are not just fault markers. They also include freeze-frame data capturing the exact moment the fault occurred. Temperature, speed, engine load, airflow, and fuel level. If you clear codes before checking them, all this data disappears, forcing technicians to guess or recommend replacing parts that may not actually be bad. Some codes exist in pending status, meaning the fault appeared once but hasn't met the conditions to turn on the light yet. If you clear these too soon, the car must restart the monitoring process, delaying the detection of the real issue. Meanwhile, permanent codes, especially emissions-related ones, cannot be erased with a scanner. They only disappear once the actual problem is fixed and the drive cycle is completed. This makes many people think the car has a code that won't reset, when the system is actually doing its job to protect emissions compliance. 1. Full system reset by disconnecting the battery. Sometimes your car starts showing a series of strange symptoms: light engine vibration, rough shifting, random warning lights, frozen infotainment, or a sluggish backup camera. These issues can easily make you think the car is wearing out, but most of them come from temporary ECU data drifting after long-term use. And the quickest way to make the car wake up, again, is a full system reset by disconnecting the battery correctly. The procedure is not complicated. Turn the ignition off, disconnect the negative terminal first, and wait at least 15-30 minutes. For a deeper reset, you can connect the 2 battery cables through a 10 ohm resistor to discharge the remaining capacitor energy safely without causing a spark. Finally, these reset tricks aren't advanced secrets. They're simple steps that help you understand your car better and avoid unnecessary expenses. Before taking your car to a shop and hearing a long list of costly guesses, try these basic methods first. Sometimes just a few minutes is enough to get the car running smoothly again. Staying proactive is always cheaper than rushing into repairs, and that's how you keep your car reliable for many more years. Did this video help you out? Subscribe and help us reach 30,000 subscribers.